That was my teacher voice. I teach in the inner city, sorry. My name is Carrie, and this is Aubrey, and we're from 6760, and we just wanted to share a little bit about our program. We're not going to get into any great detail because we don't want to take up too much of other people's time, so please feel free to come and ask us. We have some photographs on a PowerPoint. We have all of our information for the programs on our Google Docs, so we can just pull that up. So please feel free to ask us more. We've already enjoyed chatting so much, and we're already taking things away. So we're excited.
Okay, so our camp, we have 2 staff training days, and those are prior to, and we go over everything that the camp has in store. The program is actually 4.5 days. It takes place at Austin Peay State University in Clarksville, so they have all the facilities we need, and it's all on campus. We go off campus once for the high ropes course, and that's managed by the facilitators there, and that's the only time we have outsiders come in. The students and staff live in the same dorm, so there's a block in the middle, so there's girls on one side, boys on the other, and the girls can't get into the guys' side, they're hardworking, and it doesn't work, so it's good. It's co-ed. There's 72 students, which is a 20% growth from last year because we only had 60. There's 50% buy-in, which is good. We're at 72, we're trying to raise it, but our facilities aren't really that sizely. There's 3 Rotarians that come, and they come in throughout the week and speak and talk to the Rotarians and get everything going. And our Rally Chair is also there. Our counselors are past Rotarians, and so they come in as a CIT, and then which is a counselor in training, and they do that for, there's not a specific time, just when you feel like you're ready to move up. You don't want to put a person in a counselor position when they're not ready for it. It's $400 per person, and we started in 2006, so it's our 8th year, and it's 4.5. And the first 3 years was just Rotarian based, and then the past 5, it started leaning toward it.
Over a weekend or during the week?
It's during the week.
During the week.
Yeah, it starts on Monday or
They're coming on Tuesday
and then
this
we
year.
leave on Sunday.
So the end, it ends on a weekend.
And
Yes.
then we have takeaway projects. So during the week, we have different Rotarians come in that talk about polio and shelter box, and then living a better story, which is we give them $5. And we tell them, take this back to your hometown and do something with it. You give it to a homeless person, or you combine your $5 with other people. One group, 5 girls came together, $25, made a bunch of cake pops, went to McDonald's. It's like, will you match our money? They said yes. They raised $500. McDonald's had to match them $500. And then they gave their $1,000 to charity.
And then we asked them to report back,
Yeah.
and this is Max Strange, who is a Rotarian who has Living a Better Story, which is based off the book A Million Miles in 1,000 Years. And it's really a great book, and then it's a great program that he has. And that's kind of their takeaway, and we asked them to report back on what they've done with their $5.
And we have the Ryla page that they can come in. It's a closed group.
On Facebook.
On Facebook, and so throughout the year we'll always get updates from students saying, oh my gosh, I took my $5 and I did this, or I took my $5 and I did this. I think one of our Rotarians actually somehow raised enough money for a shelter box, I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
So they took their $5 and ended up making $1,000 out of it, and we're actually able to get a shelter box.
So when do they report back to you?
The
The
Facebook
Facebook
page.
page.
Okay, and then you get back with them, or do you make sure they report back, or?
We try to hold them accountable by keeping up on the Facebook page and asking for progress. Max Strange also checks in with them via email. He has a group email. It's not mandatory. They do with it what they want, but we hope that we've instilled enough in them that they hold themselves accountable.
When they give it out, it's kind of like you have a month to do something, and that kind of lights a fire. And most of the time, they actually do get their project moving, and it's actually really successful. And last year was the first year we did that.
You mentioned Facebook a couple times. Teen use of Facebook's dropping a ton. Is that a challenge, or do you get people
It is.
just for it?
We've gotten them to stay on Facebook just because we have a closed page, and they kind of are going on Facebook just for that. But we are aware of that, and we are looking for other ways to hold their attention after Ryla and keep in touch with them. And that's definitely challenging, but that's great that we have youth on our staff because they know what's cool, unlike me.
And Twitter and Instagram.
We have Twitter going on during the week.
Yeah, and we have a Rala Instagram, so we take pictures throughout the week, and all of the staff have the password. And so there'll just be pictures randomly posted all week long, and students will be able to go and look on their spare time, when the day is over. We don't really allow cell phones, because it's a distraction.
And then we have somebody tweeting.
Yeah, we have somebody tweeting like,
Is that the right
oh,
person?
excitement is gonna occur in 30 minutes, and somebody sees a tweet and is like, what's going on in 30 minutes? We don't tell them, and then it's something wild and crazy, and they love it. And yeah, the emphasis, leadership, citizenship, and personal growth.
So we have what we consider an experiential learning model. We sequence between talking and doing, talking and doing, talking and doing. Our master facilitator, who has his master's degree in organizational leadership, always says the brain can only take as much as the butt can. So if you have them sitting the whole time, you've lost them. So we talk, then we do, then we go over. So we go from action, observation, reflection to abstraction, which is, we focus a lot on the debrief, and we train our staff on debriefing skills. And broken down, that's basically, we ask what, so what happened, so what, why does it matter, and now what are you going to do with what you learned? And that's the very basis of all of our debriefing, which happens after most of our more intense activities, and then at the end of each day in the small group setting. And then, of course, with the counselors, we debrief at night also. Yeah. So we go through, our schedule looks like our 2.5 days of staff training, again led by our master facilitator and myself. Then when students arrive, we are very particular in the way we do things. Nothing is just because. We build on all of our experiences throughout the week. So we start with icebreakers, which are fun, yay, get you a little bit out of your comfort zone, have fun, laugh. We move to Ryla Games, which is then with their small groups, and it's just kind of icebreakers, but just with your group, so you're getting to know your group a little bit more. We move to team contracts, which is to establish a norm within the group and say, hey, this is what we expect from each other, and this is what we expect from the week. That way they hold each other accountable during the
And
week.
it's something you can go back on.
And you refer back to it all week, whether you're having problems or whether things are going really well. Hey, let's check back on our contract. Are we really following through? Are we all holding up our end of the deal? Which is great when you're debriefing things, especially if an activity went to hell and back. Were we holding up our end of the deal in that activity? We have speakers throughout the week, which again, your brain can only take as much as your butt can. We do not have them right after meals. We don't have them all day. We have them for short periods of time. We have Rotarians come in and speak. We have people that have overcome great challenges. We then go to our nightly small group meetings every night. We do the Myers-Briggs personality indicator on day 2, which is amazing, and they always love it. And they always refer back to their personality types and how they interact. It's a brilliant part of our program. We have our team building initiatives, which again, we're building. We ask a little bit more of them, get a little bit more out of our comfort zone. Then we go to our ropes course, which again is more of that physical trust. We're moving from emotional to physical.
So with the ropes course, you said that's off-site somewhere?
It is.
How do you get them there?
We bus them.
Oh, okay.
And they sign a waiver right before,
Yes.
so everything's...
Then we move on to breaking through your fears, which is board breaking, which is very neat. We won't get into it, but if you want to ask us more about that, you can. And we end on a physical trust sequence, which is supporting each other physically and then doing trust falls. And everything is to each student's ability. If you challenge yourself just by stepping onto the platform and you honestly consider that a challenge by choice, good for you. If that's as far as you're going to take it and you felt like you challenged yourself one more step, that's perfect. So nothing is ever forced upon students. Then we have our graduation. We do our Living a Better Story, and that's kind of their take home. During our staff training, we talk about types of power, leadership styles, group development, facilitation skills, and if you'd like to know anything else, you can ask us. I didn't want to get beat up by a football player.
At the beginning and the end of each thing on video, if you could just announce who you are and what district you're from, so that we
Sure.
have that.
And again, we're 6760, which is Central and Western Tennessee. And we have our program at Austin Peay State University.